Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the weekly warm-up. I'm John,
I'm Vicky.
and it is 9 a.m. UTC. And while it might be 5 o'clock in the morning in Caracas in Venezuela, we're here to bring you some of the latest hot crypto headlines happening over the last couple of days. So let's get into it. Bitcoin, big news. It's going. Bitcoin has hit an all-time high so far, and it may well change over the next couple of minutes. Who knows? At 123,000 or so, Bitcoin reached a new high of 123,252 so far amid surging spot ETF flows, exchange-traded fund flows, network activity, and long-term holder profits, which may hint at higher targets. And interestingly enough, Bitcoin is now bigger than Google and silver as well. Guess what's next? Amazon. So the largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization has long expanded beyond its own industry and has maintained a place within the top largest assets by that metric for a long while. Its latest price surge has allowed it to create history by charting a new all-time high, although this move has seen some resistance, and Bitcoin is now down by a little bit. Its market cap has overtaken the second largest precious metal and one of the most influential companies in the world. Who knows? By the end of this week, it could be bigger than Amazon. Who knows? But time will tell. All right, Vicky, over to you.
Yeah, and I know one person, let's call him Satoshi Nakamoto, if that is really who created Bitcoin. Very happy because he or they have just become the 11th richest person in the world because of this rise. Now, even though that sounds amazing, Bitcoin would still need to spike at least 208% and hit 370,000 per token to become him to become the richest top billionaire in the world. And obviously that's Elon Musk. So even though 11th richest person in the world sounds amazing, and I'm sure it is, it has a long way to go till he hits the top, or they, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, 370,000 is not impossible. Who knows? Not by maybe end of this year, but one never knows. Big things happening, lots of crypto millionaires, billionaires being created, and here at HODLNOTS, we give you guys those foundational elements. And one of the exchanges that we really focus on, and that is the world's largest crypto exchange, is Binance. And Binance has been crushing its rivals. It has grabbed so far 37% of the global Bitcoin spot trading volume, excuse me, for 2025, at least for the first half. Binance has led global Bitcoin spot volume in the first half of 25. The crypto exchange commanded more than 37% of that market share, which is equivalent to over $3.44 trillion in traded volume. This significant lead is evidence that Binance's position is the primary hub for Bitcoin liquidity and major flow activity, as volume spikes and large trades often appear on Binance first, and hence why we do focus on that. Big news indeed. What else is news, Vicky?
It is big news. I think the next three don't even come close to its 37 market share. So it's interesting for liquidity on Binance. So yay, everyone that can trade on Binance, but don't despair if you can't, because there's still enough to go around everywhere. But the other thing that we've been talking about a lot over the past couple of weeks is XRP. So XRP obviously has been in the news because of its lawsuits, but it's in the news again because there's a company called SpacePay, and possibly it'll give XRP a utility because XRP doesn't it does have a utility, but it's around institutional. So XRP has maintained its position amongst the top cryptocurrency by market capitalization while facing persistent questions about practicality or the practical utility behind XRP because mainly it's for financial institutions partnerships at the moment. So SpacePay's merchant payment platform could provide the retail adoption pathway XRP has needed to move beyond this institutional use case. The platform's 1.1 million pre-sales funding shows market interest in a practical cryptocurrency payment solution that could benefit XRP holders. So XRP is in the news, and XRP is rising at the moment. Not sure if it's because of this or because all boats, but let's have a look at XRP in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. We have been keeping an eye on it from a
Mm,
HODL perspective as well.
mm.
Currently trading at $2.97. It's got to break $3.40 for its all-time high to be broken. So definitely we are keeping a very close eye on XRP. Now, while in that vein, a lot of eyes on the US this week, especially because, as we mentioned last week, they are starting their crypto week. And we did touch on that last week. So for more information on that, you can watch that video recording from last week's weekly warm-up. But we'll be covering more of that in depth this week on the HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout, the monthly call, the 4H, where we get to delve into some of these topics more in depth. And what all we're going to be touching on, we will be letting you know shortly. It'll be some of the topics of the last couple of weeks, but definitely American Crypto Week, where the US goes all in on stablecoins under the Trump administration. The Trump administration has repeatedly said that establishing comprehensive stablecoin regulation in the United States is a top priority. A lot of countries are realizing this as well. Now, speaking at the White House's Digital Asset Summit back in March, the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said stablecoins would extend the U.S. dollar dominance, ensuring that the dollar remains the global reserve currency. Now, a lot of other countries might be contesting that kind of thought, but stablecoins are here and they're doing very well. You can see a lot of the liquidity and value of stablecoins on the rise and the use case around that. So, amongst the stablecoin side of things, there will be two other main builds being looked at, and we're going to be delving more into that, as I mentioned, on the 4H this week, Wednesday at 11 a.m. UTC. We will be posting out all those details. We dive into that topic and so much more on that. But for now, back to these crypto headlines. Vicky.
Yeah, that's going to be a great call. So hopefully, if everyone can join us on Wednesday, that should be really interesting to hear
Mm.
about what's happening in the States and other things. And speaking of other things, again, this call wouldn't be the same without Michael Saylor. So he's been on hiatus for a week. He did not buy Bitcoin last week. So the strategy co-founder signaled that strategy, and again, not MicroStrategy anymore, strategy, would resume Bitcoin buying today after the company took a week-long hiatus from accumulating Bitcoin. So he said, some weeks you just don't hodl, yay, because as HODLNOTS, we don't hodl any week. So he's getting the message. Good for him. So he wrote on Sunday that he doesn't hodl all the time, but the company skipped buying Bitcoin last week, but announced a $4.2 billion capital raise. So before the break, strategy racked up 12 consecutive weeks of Bitcoin accumulation. So that $4.2 billion capital raise, watch this space because it could go all into Bitcoin soon.
Absolutely. And on that
Uh,
note, this may well be one of the topics that we cover on the HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout on Wednesday, along with BlackRock. They seem to be in competition with each other, eh, Vicky? So we'll be covering
yeah,
that. Hmm.
it'll be interesting because there's a few companies that hold a lot of Bitcoin now. So we're going to be talking about that, like you said, on Wednesday. Now, just getting off this Bitcoin topic we seem to be doing today. Just an interesting one. So there was a hack. So GMX was hacked, and the hacker actually is netting a $5 million bounty for hacking. Now, don't anyone get any ideas? So basically, what happened is this hacker hacked $40 million of GMX, and GMX said, well, let's not take him to court. Let's offer him a bounty instead. So they offered him a white hat hacker bounty. And he went, yep, that's great. He returned most of the coins, but he kept about $5 million worth. So good news, bad news. It pays, crime pays, but it was basically a good outcome for the company because they got most of their tokens back. So I just thought that was an interesting little topic or little tidbit today. That crime does pay sometimes, I guess.
We're not condoning that at all. All right. So, in the last topic, last headline, if you live in these five countries, um, surprisingly, crypto is tax-free in 2025. Okay, I need to start looking at passports and visas. Looking to live tax-free with crypto in 2025, these five countries still offer legal zero tax treatment for cryptocurrencies. Which are they? The Cayman Islands, no income or capital gains or corporate tax if you live in the Cayman Islands regarding crypto. The UAE, the United Arab Emirates, there's zero tax on all crypto activity across all of the Emirates. El Salvador, Bitcoin, we know, has been legal tender there for with full tax exemption and growing, obviously amidst the growing national adoption. So El Salvador is sounding really good. Germany, apparently, and I've seen a couple of our German friends on the call. Germany, if you hold crypto for 12 months or more, you pay zero tax, which is quite rare for a European Union country. And who knows, maybe some of the other, hopefully, some of the other EU countries will adopt that as well. And speaking of Portugal, long-term crypto gains remain tax-free for the moment, um, where they have a program called the NHR program, which boosts their expat benefits as well. So there are five countries so far who are offering incentives on where crypto is currently tax-free. And who knows, things may well change in the future. Regulation and adoption go hand in hand, and hopefully we'll see a lot more countries getting regulation up to speed. And who knows, might be some benefits long term for holding certain crypto, or even some of the smaller activities, some of the things we have covered in the past, and some of these bills that have been covered in the States, and hopefully in future countries as well, where yeah, crypto will be the way forward. So. Pretty exciting. Cayman Islands, Portugal, Germany, UAE, or El Salvador. So far, what else will be added to the list? More in time to come. But for now, let's move on from the crypto news and, where we're being quite bullish around Bitcoin. What is the crypto fear index currently showing us, Vicky?
Yes, the fear. Two in a row. The fear and greed index. I got it right. So interestingly, even though the market's running well, as we can see, the alts are running, Bitcoin's running, the fear and greed index is actually at 74 this week, which is actually only 1 point up from 73 last week. So this really could signal that people are not losing their minds and FOMOing into the market. People are learning their lessons. So even though Bitcoin hit that all-time high, so this not FOMOing in, people being cautious still. On the greed side, only time will tell if that's good or positive or negative for us. But it's good to see that it's not going wildly, because what happens when wild happens? Crash. So hopefully it will be a little bit of stability for us in the market. So that's good.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what else is good. And let's have a quick look at
Mm.
Bitcoin for the week and as well as dominance thereof. So, sorry, that's Ripple, as mentioned, looking pretty strong there. Let's get over to Bitcoin. So last week we were looking where were we? Monday last week, and we were like, probably going to go sideways for a while, and that blew up in a great way because it has still been finding some really lovely support back on Monday. There we go. So for those of you who know, all right, great support zones, and I managed to break past that one-day resistance. At the moment, things are looking pretty strong. For those of you who understand these indicators, you've done a foundational trading course, and we teach you all of the 15 indicators that make up the HODLNOTS indicator. Let alone other things, is that things are looking pretty strong at the moment. Wouldn't you agree? HODLNOTS looking pretty good. Now, if you bring in this great indicator as well, we can just do this quickly. Things are looking pretty strong. We've got nice, really good, strong momentum going up there for Bitcoin. Now, how long will this last? Nobody knows. There's speculative, around speculation at least 130, 150. But just looking at this, Bitcoin over the next couple of days is good. Now, for those of you trading Bitcoin, that's one thing. We've seen a number of altcoins running in the last week, some great ones for the HODL Fire as well. Fun, Pingu, Hadel, Hyper, they're all going. But what really does influence that? A little something called Bitcoin dominance. Now, while the we've spoken about the ETF inflows, we've spoken about a couple other things as well, is that while Bitcoin is going for a number of the reasons that we've mentioned on the call today, um, we did see a bit of a drop in Bitcoin dominance despite all of that. And even over the last couple of days, it's kind of gone sideways. Now, Bitcoin dominance, meaning out of all the money flowing into the crypto market, how much of it is flowing into Bitcoin versus the altcoins. Now, when we start to see the dominance dropping means more money is flowing into these beautiful things that give us great volatility. It's not just like the XLMs or the BCHs and everything else, so those old school guys. It's these smaller ones that we want to see run really nicely. Now, at the moment, just on the day, we're seeing a little bit of a support here. And what I'm going to do is just simplify things a little. Finding a bit of support. So what does that mean? It means that things are currently going sideways over the last couple of days. Now, will this continue to drop? And that's what we want to see. We want to see Bitcoin dominance drop, even if Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin dominance dropping, and that means more money flowing into the altcoins. And that's what we like to see. However, will it continue to do that? Let's have a look here at the 12-hour. And this is what we want to see break down below. All right, this is a 12-hour. This is some support. No, that's the 200. If this breaks down, if we start to see a breakdown below 64.26, might pop a little side alert there, then it's going to tell us that even if Bitcoin is going up, it'll work, don't worry. Even if Bitcoin's going up, but Bitcoin dominance is coming down, especially breaking down here below, altcoins are gonna run. All right. And that's when I think we can almost safely say altcoin season is here. So some pretty exciting stuff still to come. Keep an eye on that Bitcoin dominance as Bitcoin itself starts or carries on running to who knows where, all-time highs. Let's go all day, every day. Vicky, over to you.
Yeah, and you know who will take advantage of those? The people in the lodge and the den. So I actually see quite a few non-HODLNOTs on the call, which is fantastic. So welcome to our non-HODLNOTs, and of course, welcome to our HODLNOTs. But we are going to go over what's in the lodge. And for those who don't know, the lodge is our permanent training room. So if you have done the HODLNOTs, one of the HODLNOTs courses, either in the past or now, you can join the den, but you can also join the lodge if you're certified, which means you've graduated. And the lodge is our permanent training room. And in the lodge, we have extra calls, we have help calls, we ask questions, we do live. And we're going to go through some of the calls we're going to have in the lodge this week. We have lots of calls every week. So this week, it starts tomorrow, which is the 15th of July. And we have the call with Wendy. So Wendy trains and trades every week, and she has that tomorrow. And I'm like I said, I've explained what the lodge is, but so for anyone that is in the lodge that has done the course, you can jump on. Wendy will train, she'll ask questions, she'll trade with you. It just depends on who's on the call, what everyone wants to do. So that is tomorrow. And also tomorrow, it is one of our last calls, which is very sad and also very happy for our students who just recently completed the HODLNOTS live foundational trading course. And I actually see one of them on the call at the moment. So welcome, you know who you are. So, and actually, you know who you are. So be on that call tomorrow. So the last call for you is tomorrow. It's the HODL Fire call. So John explained a little bit about the HODL Fire just then. So our new students are going to be learning all about the HODL Fire, and the HODL Fire does come free with the course for 30 days. So they'll learn all about the HODL Fire, how to use it, and they'll also know that now they've done the foundational course, they can use those foundational elements to use the HODL Fire even more effectively. So it's always a fun session. We're looking forward to it. So that's tomorrow as well. And let me just move this across. Hold it, wait a minute. Okay. So the other thing is, let's see. Oh, we also have a call for our self-paced course people. So we have 3 courses actually. We have a live foundational course that is run every ish month. We have a self-paced course which you can join whenever you'd like, and then we have a premium course which is one-to-one. But we do have a self-paced call tomorrow, so the people that are doing the self-paced course, we don't leave you on your own devices all the time. We have 2 calls a week. So tomorrow we have a call that is for students currently undertaking the self-paced course, but only for chapters 1 to 3. So chapters 1 to 3 is tomorrow. The people that are on 4 onwards will be Thursday. So that's all tomorrow. And then Wednesday, which is the 16th of July, is our happy hour hangout, as John said. So this month, as he mentioned, we'll be taking a lot of the topics that we've been talking about on this call and expanding on them on the HODLNOTS happy hour hangout. We don't have enough time to do that on this call. So everyone was saying, well, I'd like to know a little bit more about this or a little bit more of that. So we're going to take the opportunity on our HODLNOTS happy hour hangout on Wednesday to delve into those topics a bit more. And then on a Wednesday, we have at 8 p.m. UTC is the first of the dot calls. So if you don't know what a dot call is, when you are graduated from the HODLNOTS course, you go into the lodge and the dem, and in there we have another challenge. It's called the 3M challenge. And the 3M challenge is also called the Minute Money Masters, which is why the 3M, Minute Money Masters. And it's a way to take $40 in essence and turn it into $2,500, which is a 6,150% gain. And it's a self-paced challenge and it's all scalping. So by the end of that, you're going to be a great scalper. You'll be able to do it for a living. You'll go into another room called the Black Bear Cave and trade with everyone else that's already done the whole thing. There's 6 levels. So each level you have to trade a certain amount, a certain way, and then once you reach the end, you're in there with everyone else, and you 6,000th your portfolio. So that's amazing as well. So we have the first of those calls because again, don't leave you to your own devices, even though it is self-paced. You can jump on a call, ask questions, get help on something that you're not quite sure about. So that is Wednesday as well. And then immediately following that, that is also the HODL Fire call. So John touched on the HODL Fire, and again, we're going to train the HODL Fire tomorrow, but also every week we have a HODL Fire call. So those with an active subscription to the HODL Fire can jump on, and that's at 9 p.m. UTC on Wednesday, and Wendy will be doing that one. But wait, there's more. So on Thursday, that's the second of our HODL dot calls. So we have 2 dot calls a week, mainly in 2 different time zones, so everyone can have the opportunity to jump on live and ask questions. And then also on Thursday is our second self-paced call, as I mentioned, for people who are doing the self-paced course who are on chapter 4 onwards. So that is all what's happening in HODLNOTS world and a little bit of the HODL Fire, which is also HODLNOTS. And of course, every Thursday at, I believe it is 10 p.m. UTC, which is the long-term trade report. So I think a lot of people on the call are the long-term. So you jump on that and learn where the long-term coins are going so you can scalp them in between. So that is another busy week at HODLNOTS and Bitcoin Tap as a whole, as usual.
Absolutely. All right. So for those of you waiting for your long-term
Yeah.
positions to come into play, you can hodl fire all the way up to your previous entries if you like. You can scalp trade some of them. I mean, XLM have been doing superbly well among some of the other medium to large caps as well. And while this is Crypto Week, here's a little teaser for everybody. We got something that's running for this week, and you will have first eyes on it. Yeah, so let me just quickly, before we actually share it with everybody, we thought, ooh, a little bit of a teaser. All right, the 25th of July is our next live course, and that's actually just over a week and a bit's time, and what, 11 days time. So that's going to be running off the whole week. For those of you who are wanting to find out more, do join us for that. We'll put all the details in all the social channels everywhere in the next short while. So for those of you who like to learn how to trade any time frame and learn how to use the HODLNOTS indicator as well as the HODL Fire indicator as well, all part of the course. Understanding time frames, how you can make money in a sideways market. We're all waiting for these large cap coins to really get up there. But in the meantime, you can scalp trade, HODL Fire trade, a bunch of them. So our next intake will be, or at least the course starts next week, Friday. More details to come. A nice little theme around the crypto week as global adoption grows. Now, speaking about growing, dare I ask, What are we stretching? How are we stretching today?
Okay. So there's a lot of new people on the call that might not have been following us. So these are huddle aerobics, and we've been doing some interesting versions of them over the past couple of weeks. So this week, what we're going to do is put your hands out again. We're just going to kind of get those fingers going a little bit, okay, because we type a lot. So we're going to stretch our fingers out like this, and then we're going to put them back in, and our elbows get a little bit, kind of a little bit stiff as well. So we're
I
going to
know
do
this is
a little bit of this, because shoulders, and then just your midsection, and then clap. Okay, because and now we're gonna do it again.
I don't know if everybody knows the chicken dance, but yeah, this is I think people are joining just for this these days. All right. Excellent. So hopefully it should be feeling a little bit more limber. But yeah, let's wrap up this call. And can you, besides sharing those dance moves, what is the thought for the week as we head into this week of
Yeah,
July?
yeah, that's well. Okay, so this week, remember to always reach for the stars because at the very least, you will air out your armpits.
Reach for them stars. All right. We don't want to make it stink about anything else. But thanks for joining the HODLNOTS Weekly Warm-Up, the slightly extended version. Hopefully you all learned something. Join us on Wednesday for the HODLNOTS Happy Hour Hangout as we delve into some of the great topics that we covered the last couple of weeks. Be safe. And for those of you who are trading Bitcoin, good for you. Those of you trading other coins on the HODL Fire as well, use a stop loss and we'll catch you on Wednesday. Otherwise, next week, Monday again. Take care. Bye.